So guys, we're live on YouTube, okay? My name is Clinton Brito. I'm going to be your host today here on Talking Talk. I'm not sure if it's the first time here on Talk Talk of anyone. Victor, is it your first time here on Talking Talk?
No, I would say it's my fourth time.
Nice. So welcome aboard. So first of all, I would like to ask each of you guys to introduce yourself for us, and we'll start with you, Victor. Introduce yourself first, please.
Okay, name is Victor. I am 25 years old. I live here. I have been living here in São Paulo, specifically in South Zone. Uh, I am an engineer, and I have been working in a fintech, in a famous fintech in São Paulo. And in my free time, I like to go to the gym, practice some sports, and solve crosswords. And
Crosswords.
yes, exactly. I, I'm a very I'm a very big fan of this. Yeah,
Nice.
and about talk and talk, I'm here like you to improve my English, and I hope to enjoy this journey. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Victor. So you're a software engineer, right?
Not exactly. I
Not
would
exact.
say data engineer.
Okay, data engineer. Because you said you were an engineer, but not what kind of engineer. That's why
Yeah,
I ask you.
I did college, and my I am a bachelor in industrial engineer, but I'm
Okay,
an engineer in data too.
very well, very well. And what about you, Jacqueline? Good evening. Can you hear me? Could you introduce yourself for us, please?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Jaqueline de Almeida. I'm living in Salvador, Bahia. I'm 39 years old and I'm a software developer. Um, and now I work in such as autonomous and and I teach in a group of black women, and I have a daughter. She is 10 years old, and I have a a cat, called Lydia, and I love beat and books and dancing and stay with my community, religious, spiritual community. And that is,
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. And you, Ju, can you hear me? Could you introduce yourself for us, please?
I can hear you. Good evening, guys. I am Juliana Malaquias. I'm 28 years old. I am a psychologist. I work um, as a recruiter. I intend to be a tech recruiter. So that's why I'm here, improving my English. I really, really enjoy this community, TNT. I am here since February, and I have improved a lot my English and making some friends in this process. So it's haven't been nice, you know. And I think that's it. I like to do normal stuff. I love to read sci-fi books and watch what sci-fi series. Um, and that's it. That's me.
Sci-fi series, you said.
Yeah,
What's your favorite?
sci-fi like Star Trek,
Nice.
Star Trek Discovery.
The third season is going to be released, right? Of the series.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I have to start this one. Sci-fi is my favorite genre of movies, books, etc. But I haven't watched so many things of Star Trek. Only those three movies that were released recently. It's a very unique universe.
Yeah, I like so much. Have watched the movies too, and then I have to follow the everything that was released from this universe. So I really like.
All right. So talking about good stories, we're going to talk about storytelling today. Like I said before, I'm not so familiar about this theme, but I recognize this is a very important topic for everyone because it involves how we tell stories to other people and how can we improve the way we sell ourselves, including, by the way. So very nice topic to discuss. And to start with you, Ju, could you read and answer the first question for us, please? Ju? Is it Juliana or Juliane?
Juliana,
Okay. Could you
I,
start
I,
the question for us, please?
yeah. Are you familiar with the concept of storytelling? How would you define it, and what elements, in your view, do you think make a story engaging when presented to someone? Yeah, I have heard of this concept. I never studied about, but I would say that I like so much to watch TED videos, and I think as many people in there practice this concept to tell a story, make this the story personal, um, in this way, teach or notice people about a subject. So for me, that's it. Personal experience to tell a story, making it easier to everyone understand. So I think this is the 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 definition of storytelling. And you guys,
Who wants to answer after Ju?
I can do.
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead, Victor.
Yes, the concept of storytelling is common for me because my area, not only my area, and for all the things nowadays, the narrative, the way that you tell the history, sometimes can be more important than the real history at all, you know. And in my opinion, I believe that when you when you put sentimental triggers in the history, you can engage in the people more than when you don't use. So as I said at the beginning, sometimes the way that you tell the history can be more important than history. That's my opinion.
interesting point of view. What's your view on this concept, Jaqueline?
I I think that storytelling it's a presentation about a good history that is important. It's important to have a good organization of the ideas, and I think that beautiful presentation, beautiful slide. If it's important too, because this can have a connection with the public. I have experience 3 years ago uh, to a presentation PT, yeah, PT, and I needed create a storytelling about my job in the past. My focus was communication because I am graduating communication too. And to me, it was my first experience to organize my job with your storytelling. And so the people in presentation said more it's good history because I tell about uh, my history with my ancestors and with my daughter, and now I see that it's important and tell our history, a true history, and not a fake, and has had no have connection with the public, and that is the next question I can talking about more.
You guys said about how connection is important about storytelling, because every story, if you prepare properly how to tell it, you can make people feel different emotions. So storytelling involves, in my point of view, much more about how you tell a story, but than the story itself. So the main thing of storytelling in my concept is you tell a story preparing people to feel specific emotions, and that's the power of storytelling. So you can tell a story to a person to feel empathy or to feel happy, angry, and the way you tell this story, uh, you can you can custom for different audiences according to what you want to achieve with that story. So uh, this would be my definition of storytelling. Much more about how you tell a story than the story itself, and what emotions do you want your audience to feel about. Very nice. Okay. Next question. Could you read for us, please, Victor?
Of course I can. Number 2, what do you think some stories stick with us more than others? What makes a story truly memorable? um, I think some stories stick with us more than the others because we can see ourselves in that story. For example, when a comedian guy started to tell a joke, for example, about his mother, and you can see yourself doing the same action of him, and you can see your mother in his mother, and I think that kind of histories can be memorable for us because they triggered an emotion in us. That's it.
Nice. Okay. What do you think about this, Jaqueline?
Um, how I said, I think that I have a connection with the public. I I think that the feelings it's more important because in general we like uh, uh, history about superação. I don't know this
Overcome.
word in English, and about the adventure or love. So it's important working with the emotions. So that I think that um, when tell a history such as a movie or a novel that the public to be curious um, about the end, about the final, the history. Um, uh, um, can have a connection. So and I love the histories. So um, uh, um, with my work with the public in communication um, uh, in the many years, I can see that. So it's important connecting with the people and to see the reactions that um, the person I don't know. So sorry, the person expression in the presentation. The person is interested or not in my history, and it's important to have a good improvisation and to change the form about to tell their histories. So I think that the the elements can be more important so that the history stick on more people.
All right. You said about improvisation. We have a question about specific about this in the next uh, coming question. So we're going to talk about this later. What do you think about this, Ju?
Yeah, I completely agree with George and Jacqueline. We have to connect with the people when when we identify ourselves on the history that grants us this connection, this emotional connection. I mean, why famous series sitcoms like Friends is so it's so adorable. Everyone loves. Friends talks about friendship, uh, uh, what people can like, don't like friendships. So when we see us ourselves on the histories, on the stories, we got this connection, and that's the point about storytelling. The emotional connection. Disney movies are this are in this way too, and these movies are is for the whole family. So the emotional connection, it's the big deal. So I think that's it. I really agree with you guys.
Yeah, it's interesting because um, talk you cited Disney, and Disney animations are a very interesting storytelling topic because the most a very important thing about these animations, uh, either of Disney or Pixar or other like this, the the main concern of the writers when they are writing the story of these movies are how to uh, how to tell a story that kids would enjoy, but also the adults would enjoy as well. So you have to concern about these two different publics to be connected with the stories. And
Yeah,
you all guys said about how connection is important. So they 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 have this concern to tell a story that uh, both publics completely different would connect them with the same movie. So this is very interesting. And Victor talked about comedians, and it's funny because comedians do this all the time. They tell stories that we can see happening with ourselves many times, situations that we have already um, lived these same situations, but never thought about these situations. And, and this triggers emotions about what we already have lived in the past are powerful to direct an audience to what you wanted to achieve. In case of a comedian is to make you laugh. But the next question, who talks about sales, the the i- the objective, the purpose is completely different, but the way how you do it, it's kind of the same. So while you all are answering, I've been writing down, and yeah, that's the whole thing, and you guys are very good about talking storytelling. Okay, next question. I would like to ask you, Ju, to read an answer for us, please. Question number 3.
okay. Let's see. Number 3. What makes a story compelling when trying to sell an idea to a client or stakeholder? Is it more about facts, emotions, or a mix of both? Wow. Yeah, I think facts have to being in this presentation, but emotionally, we have to present the problem, what pain we have to solve, and then what the facts, what we have to solve this problem, and then solutions to solve this problem. So I think organizing these topics, we started to presentate, and then we controlled the expectation, and we got the solution after that, and we we achieved emotionally. So we have to organize these things. I would say equilibrate. I don't know the word. Equilibrate. Yeah.
Balance it, I think.
This. Yeah. Balance. Thanks. We have to balance those things in a presentation, and I think the mix of all of it will make a strong and powerful presentation. So in my head, it's more like this. So what do you think, Dave?
I'm going to ask Victor to answer this because he's a data engineer. So all the time he's dealing with data and how to convert it with this data to something with people who will take decisions, right?
Right. Let me see. In data, it's more easy. It's easier because sometimes you have to solve a problem with data. Sometimes, and most part of the times, your stakeholder client was looking for an answer for something, and you have to give that answer with data. So I would say you don't you have to use the storytelling to sell some idea, but normally you have to only to show the data. But sometimes, for example, you are giving some idea to do something, and you have to presentation the results of this idea. In that point, you have to use the storytelling, because sometimes your idea was not good, and you have to turn that idea in a good idea, because you spend a lot of money. And in that way, you have to use the storytelling to sell your idea. But but uh, but I have another insight about it. For example, I was looking for a car to buy, and I bought, but I could realize some things, and I got some insights about car sellers, and they always use they every car seller that I visit use the idea to mix emotions and facts. I would say they are using the fear of missing out trigger, because they presentate the cars. That's a good car. I have a lot of customers looking for these cars. I can hold this car for you for a long time, and I could realize that kind of thing. And I would say they mixed both things, emotions and facts. The emotion is the trigger about um, fear of missing out, and they works they try to do they try to make you they put a kind of a feeling you have you are losing a good opportunity in that business. And on the other hand, they try to use the idea to have a very good product. They they show they show for you a lot of facts about that car. Oh man, that car don't need maintenance. You don't have to go to a mechanic after here because the car is very good and things and stuff like that. And for me, it's important. How can I say this? Let me see. I forgot the word now, but I believe I finish here. But uh, I would try to to talk something, but I forgot the word right now. But if I remember, I will say again. That's
No
it.
problem. No problem. You could put on chat and we'll see it. And okay, did you finish?
Yes, I did.
Nice. Okay. And what's your view on this question, Jacqueline?
Um, to me, it's important to have both to fact and emotion and data. So because to sell a idea or a job, and that is important to client to looking for the future, how the job, the work can deixa eu organizar. Possible um, to to him achieve, eu esqueci essa palavra, alcançar your result. So I think that is it's simple, more or less, but now in this moment I'm creative, more organize my work uh, with technology, and 1 month, yes, 1 month ago, I create a presentation about my work, and I had a good result because the client can see the my history. So, but data about my result with other clients. So, in this moment, I think it's important to have emotion, but uh, emotion um, more essa palavra é moderada, não? And to have a connection, begin the beginning and the end, but fact and data in this moment, I think it to sell a idea it's very important in the um, uh, the my job in for example, that is.
Okay, okay. I will stick with what Vitor said because I'm more like the side of what he said. For example, you usually are using data to justify things. And the way you want people to see. For example, if you want um, to prove to someone that your car from your brand is better from compared to other brand, you could say a lot of numbers of how economic this car is in consuming of gas, um, um, how less would you spend with um, maintenance with this car. So you could tweak factors to sell an idea. But in my opinion, it's more about the story. For example, when I worked, my previous occupation was in the financial markets. I worked in the financial markets before transitioning to IT area. And the most important profession of my company was the financial advisors, who basically are people who have clients with investments, people investing with you. And the main thing of this profession is to convince people to invest their money with you. And there are basically two ways to do that. You could focus on data, statistic things about how good your products are how better performance your products have. But the most powerful way to convince people to invest their money with you, if is with storytelling. It's trying to connect with the client with stories, not with numbers, not talking about money. The best meetings you have with these clients are the meetings that you say less, the client say more, and the client are talking about uh, its life with you. So it's much more about telling stories to each other than talking about money most of the times. Of course, you have some kind of clients that they are very concerned about um, technical stuff, but these are the minority of the clients in this area. The concern of the financial advisors are much more to connect with the clients through stories than to talk about money itself. That's funny. So yeah, although you use all the time data to justify investments, but connections are much more powerful than talking about numbers, generally speaking, of course. Okay, someone left the room. I think it was Mariani whose microphone was not working properly. So let's go to our next question. Please, Ju, could you read and answer for us, please? Question number 4. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would love to, but I've lost connection on other times, so I cannot see the questions again.
Okay, I
And
sent you. Oh, okay, you left and enter again, right? Is it?
yeah,
Can you see the question now on chat?
yeah, I can see. Question number 4: how can storytelling be used to make a strong impression during a job interview? Do you have a story that sealed the deal for you in the past? Yeah, that's a great one. um, I I do a lot of interviews nowadays, and the best interview that they can do it's being themselves. When I talk about it, candidates trying to impersonate. I don't know the word, but impressionar. And this doesn't work because when we go on asking for experiences, this is a, how can I say, uh, a dead end, you know. So when they can breathe, lose anxiety, and organize their things that he wants to do, and what he or she uh, can really do, the things stabilize. I don't know this word. And we can discuss about the experience a little less frictional. I don't know the word again, but it's more in this way. I remember one time that I was interviewed, and when I focused and tell the things I can do in an organized way, pushing my strong points, I sealed the deal, and I was contracted. So I think that's it. Be more calm and focus on your strong points. I think that's it.
Okay. What do you think about Victor?
Let me see. I think yes, as we said before, the storytelling is important, especially during a job interview. And I have an example in past. Uh, it seems the last example that our friends say before. I was trying to get a job as an apprentice too, and I have any experience in anything, and it was very difficult to sell yourself if you don't do anything, right? And I had to understand the context of the job description, and try to put things that I did in the past in the college, in the college or in the high school, or some experience that I have lived. I had lived, and then I organized the ideas to sell myself for that job, and because that I sealed the deal. And it's important to build a very good story to get a job, especially in an interview. I told the story about my first job, but I had used that kind of thing in another jobs that I got. It's very normal, especially when the company has some values.
Yeah.
I don't know, when the company has values like and the company has values of ethical transparency, faster, be faster, things like that. And if you if you try to sell yourself using their values, probably you get the job. That's it.
Or you advance to the next stage of the of the selection process. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What do you think about Jaqueline?
Um, I think that it's important to have a good start history to tell in the job interview, and it's important to practice before. And but sometimes the job interview it's many different in the situation. So sometimes I don't have time to tell my history because I are very object objective uh, interview. It depends, but it's important. So I I have started uh, to sell it. Um, I don't know if it's ideal, but I like to tell because um, my career in technology it's many different, and I am a public relations. So I changed I changed and I regret to technology in my career, but I changed the area that the principal job in pandemic in 2021. I stay in my house all time, and sorry, the job is very difficult in that moment, and I thought, oh, okay, I think that is important to me to see other opportunities, and I don't know about the area, the technology area, about software developer, about the back end, the front end. It's very distance to me. But I received a message in my email about a boot camp to women and special black women or and uh, months, and I subscribe. Of I thought, okay, it's very strange, it's different to me, but um, looks like interested to think to study and know, and I subscribed and I passed between 30 I forget, not 30, 3 mil mulheres, I forget the word. And um, after I did a test and I passed two, and I begin study and study, and the 2022 uh, I beginning working with the technology with the backend, and I know many interesting people in the area. Well, good people, intelligent, smart, and I decided, okay, now really I am a software developer. And now I'm a freelancer and too. I work uh, to ONGs or um, pessoa física, I don't know. And now I'm study software engineer on postgraduate. I am studying USP, and to me it's very wow important in and that is my history is very different. The person asked me, "Oh, wow, it's very different. Why do you um, choice uh, software development?" I and so they opportunity to change my life also in pandemic because they expected about the future it was many difficult. So then now I'm here. It's now I'm I understand me as such as a software developer, and that is my history. So and that is
Something you said, I agree with you. It's how different interviews could be. They can differ a lot from each other. So there are opportunities, some interviews that you have like 5 minutes to introduce yourself, to sell yourself. Um, and there are other occasions that you have like 1 minute, 2 minutes. So the big thing, and this includes storytelling, is to have different versions of the story you want to tell to people in these situations. Eh, There's the famous elevator speech, which you have 30 seconds or less to present yourself and sell what you do to other person. And there are other versions of the same story that could have 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The same story you told me, you could told the story in 30 seconds or 1 minute, depending of the occasion. But you have to um, have a preparation. Improvising with storytelling is very complicated in my point of view, because storytelling, in my vision, you have to be prepared um, in advance, not on the way, on the go. Although, if you are a very, very good person on telling stories, you could do improvising, but it's very complicated, especially when you have these timing marks of present yourself in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. You have to be prepared, not improvising. Improvising is not good, in my opinion, especially in these situations, job interviews, or presentations in general. If you're presenting something in front of your class or at college or to other colleagues at work, you usually have a time to do this. And all the greatest presentations that I had, the greatest interviews that I had was the ones that I prepared myself for that moment, and kind of would know what's going to happen. For example, Vitor said about values. If you know the values of the company, you could sell a better store than not knowing the values of the company. You can connect your story with the company, how good this match could be with yourself and the company. So this thing for the first interview, the interview with you do with that tech recruiter, this is enough to pass to the next phase of the selection. So yeah, this is my opinion about this topic. Uh, Guys, unfortunately, our time are ending, but I would like to ask you the a last question about how was this immersion? How did you learn? What did you learn on this immersion? While I'm putting on the chat the link of us anonymous survey that you could answer and gave us feedback about this immersion. So I would start with you, Victor. What did you learn? How was this immersion?
Man, I will be honest. When I saw the subject, I thought, man, will, it would be impossible for me because I know the subject, but I don't have enough vocabulary to talk about it. But here at the end, I would say it was very good because we can understand, you can talking about our opinions about the topics, and the meeting, how can I say, flows in a good way. And for me, it was very good. That's it.
All right, thank you. I always like to sell to myself that I'm going to improve a little bit for each time I'm here. My first time here was terrible. I mean, very terrible indeed. My first immersion as a regular person, not a host. Host was the thing about nervousness, but as a regular student, it was so terrible. But after like 5, 10 immersions, things started to rolling on and flow better, like you said. So you're always going to improve a little bit for each immersion you participate, even though you're not believing this. Okay. What about you, Ju? I think your connection is not so good today, right? Ju, are you there?
Yeah, it's I've lost my connection all the time. Can you hear me, Clinton?
Yes.
Can you hear me, guys?
We can.
Yeah. My connection is not so good today. Yeah, but I really like the subject of this immersion. I do uh, uh learning a lot with you guys, and I like it so much that have expressions to learn. Still, the do was the one I didn't knew how to use it. So thank you for this immersion. I really like Clinton.
Okay, very good. Thank you for being here. It was a great pleasure to be your host, guys, today. Um, like my immersions are the same time, same day, so you are welcome to participating in the next coming. Thank you for this immersion and see you next week, okay? Ju already left.
Week, same time, probably.